If you're a content creator working in the outdoors, keeping your camera gear safe and dry is really important. And I think I found the best way to do it. This is the Fishpond Thunderhead Sling. Fishpond is not really a company that's known for making photography gear or anything like that. They're actually really focused on fly fishing. However, it just so happens that they accidentally designed the perfect camera bag for me. One of my favorite activities is kayak camping, and I'm beginning to document those experiences as you'll see on this channel. However, it's really dangerous for our camera gear and drones and stuff like that to be out on a kayak. It's easy to flip, things can get dropped in the water, condensation, rain, whatever. So I needed a submersible pack that I could store my camera equipment in. Now there are a lot of different submersible packs. Most of them have traditional zippers that you'll see that are like teeth, even though they're waterproof zippers. And this is really unique. They have something called True Zip. It's some kind of really strong, sturdy polymer or nylon that almost reminds me of sort of like a Ziploc bag. To me, I don't think it's gonna fail as easily as those like coolers and dry bags that have the teeth on them. Just because it's this unique True Zip instead of a traditional zipper with teeth doesn't mean that you don't have to lubricate it. Fishpond recommends that you do it every time you use it or every time you go to store it. They do include some lubricant that's in wipe form. I don't think you're gonna get as much mileage out of that as like the tubes of lubricant. I have a bunch left over laying around from other packs that I have. One thing about this True Zip is that it's really kind of difficult to pull open when it's sealed. So they've stitched these handles onto it so that you can grip it and pull it open. I'm really impressed with like the double, triple, I'm not a seamstress type of stitching that they have on these handles. That doesn't look like it's gonna break at all. The material that the Thunderhead is made from is called 900D TPU New Stream. They say it's a more sustainable material, but what I have noticed is that it is really, really waterproof and very durable. I do have a few nicks in my bag already, but I'm pretty hard on my stuff. I'm impressed with the material this is made out of. Now I've only had this bag for about 3 or 4 months, and I'm not gonna bring you guys reviews unless I've actually been out there and tested it. And I've had this bag submerged numerous times, both on accident and on purpose. And I've had absolutely zero moisture inside the main compartment. So it's as watertight as they say it is if you use it correctly. I've also noticed that the stitching and glue of all the seams looks incredibly tough. Now you can get these in a variety of different colors. I chose to jump on this limited run of like bright blaze orange because I'm carrying thousands of dollars worth of equipment around in it, and I want it to be high visibility so I know where it is. Another cool thing is they make it in what they call riverbed camo. So if you're documenting hunting trips or something like that, and you need a more subtle color, that would be a great option for you guys doing that. Now this front pocket is not submersible. And as a matter of fact, because of the material being so waterproof, if water does get into that front pocket, it will actually fill it up and hold the water. So you just need to be aware of that. I do have some submersible SD card wallets, and that's the perfect size for that. And I'm not scared of dropping them in the water because the wallets themselves are submersible. So that's what I choose to put in there. So I do think a lot of the design features of this bag accidentally are perfect for content creators. To be honest, I'm not a fly fisherman, so I'm not exactly sure what these bands or loops are for, but they fit one of these Joby Gorilla Pods absolutely perfect. It's relatively quick and easy to get it out. Bam. And then once again to put it back in, not hard at all. And it's pretty secure. One of the other features that Fishpond, I think, accidentally made just for us content creators is if you're using an action cam with one of these telescoping arms, the slot made for the net, if you were carrying around a net to scoop a fish out of the water, fits one of these things just perfectly. It's really easy to access and get in and out quickly. One of the drawbacks to this bag is it's incredibly expensive. It's $250 MSRP. You can find them on sale. I will say if you're carrying around thousands of dollars worth of gear, it's sort of a cheap insurance policy, but the bag for me isn't ready to go with that $250 price tag because it needs to include the padded insert that Fishpond makes for it. This padded insert is kind of difficult to get in and out, so I'm not going to show it to you on camera. It does have Velcro dividers that you can move back and forth depending on how you like to divide your gear. And of course that means that there's soft loop Velcro on the sides if you have something else that you can attach to there to hold things like batteries. And so that adds another $50 MSRP before this bag is really ready to go for your camera equipment. One thing I've also found is that the padding in this bag, because let's face it, it's probably not made for cameras, isn't quite enough. You may just want to stick some foam down in there to provide your gear with a little bit extra protection. Another drawback that I found is, as I mentioned earlier, even when well lubricated, this true zip is actually really tough to close. And I think that's by design. It's because to seal it, there's sort of a rubber grommet at the end that locks the zipper in place. And the reason why this is a big drawback is you may have thought you've closed it and you haven't. And that would be a huge problem, especially if you tipped a kayak or deliberately waded into water with this thing thinking that it was submersible and ready to go. So definitely give your zipper an extra tug each time you close it and you should be okay. Another way that I found to test it to make sure that it's good to go is once I've got it closed, I just give it a little squeeze and I can tell if it's airtight. If there's air rushing out of there, I need to pull it taut. Another thing that I found with the padded insert is that because it goes in from the side and then you wear it sort of top down, is that things tend to fall in between the padded inserts if they're not secured down in there. So again, that's where you adding some foam or extra dividers or things to that Velcro loops on the inside to kind of batten down the hatches, so to speak, so you're not sending your gear crashing around or digging for it. Fishpond makes the Thunderhead in a few different form factors. I personally really like the Sling the best, both because it's the perfect size for the gear that I carry, but also because it's really fast to pull it around to the front if you're wearing it on your back and get the camera out quickly. When you're doing content creation while having an adventure, it's really easy to miss important moments. So having quick access to your stuff is important, and the Sling Pack accomplishes that. Now it does come with a waistband if you want to use it for some extra security. I prefer not to, which is fine because the clasp that they come with is so easy to remove and it's quick to put back on so you don't lose it. Another sort of drawback, it doesn't bother me at all, but it may bother you, is that in this color in particular, I don't know if this is the case for all of them, it gets just dirty really easily. I kind of wiped it off before I did some of the shooting for this video, and the smudges and marks and stuff just didn't seem to come off. All right, so what all fits in the Thunderhead Sling? My typical payload for this thing is a DJI Mini 3 Pro with the remote control and the Fly More battery pack, so 3 extra batteries for it. I'll typically carry the Sony a7C with something comparable in size to the Sigma Art 24-75, so a big lens, and a few spare batteries for the Sony. Just in case there's some sounds that I find irresistible on our excursion, I can also fit the Rode Video Mic Go in here, and then a few other sundries like a lens cleaner, a blower bulb, I already mentioned the SD card wallet that goes into the front here, and a few other things just depending on what I'm doing that day. By the time I have all that stuff in there, there is room for more. However, it does get a little heavy. Now the sling is padded and the weight doesn't give me any fits as far as discomfort, but sometimes I worry about the stuff getting jostled around in there, which again comes down to, are you adding extra padding inside that insert? Now, while the camera fits perfectly in here with a lens that size like the Sigma 24-75 or like a G Master Prime 50mm, you do have to sort of finagle it to get it out. I'd show you right now, but I'm using the camera to record this video. It's really not a big deal as long as you're being careful, and it goes back in relatively easily. If you're gonna use it like this, just don't force the camera in and out. Take that extra second or two, turning the camera at the right angle to get it in and out easily without putting any stress on it. So should you buy this pack to keep your camera gear dry? If you're going out and adventuring, especially doing anything on a waterway like a river or a lake, 100%, this is the perfect bag for that. All in all, whether you're a fly fisherman or just need a submersible pack, for whatever your activity is, but in particular for content creators, I think Fishpond has really hit a home run, even if it was on accident. If you're into content creation, adventuring, or kayak camping, subscribe to this channel and we're gonna have a lot more videos like this. And leave me a comment down below what you would use the Fishpond Thunderhead Sling for. Remember, adventure.